Hey guys, Tough Thumbs here. So this isn't a video showing any pimp jobs or anything like that. This is actually a video kind of addressing an issue I probably should have addressed a long time ago. And it kind of came up, like I was supposed to do this video a long time ago, but I was reminded today by a video by Greg Medford of Medford Knives. And I was told about the video, I watched it, and I actually gave him a call just to talk to him, about some of the stuff he was talking about, because as usual, internet, forums and YouTube videos, you can misunderstand like what the message is and what the point of the video was. And I called him up to make sure that I had everything straight in my head and to get things correct with him and me, because I don't want him to get the wrong idea, just like I don't want any knife maker to get the wrong idea or any production company to get the wrong idea of what I do and what my intentions are. And Greg was a really nice guy, fun to talk to. We discussed a few things, and I would like to apologize first and foremost. He did bring up one thing that he did say, and I was wrong to say it, and I'm man enough to admit that. I did sort of take a jab at his finish on this guy in the TFF2, or the one that Vance currently is EDCing. I did say something about the finish being fruity. I should not have said that. I didn't mean that, really. I just kind of never script my videos, guys. I just kind of say what's off the top of my head. This one and the other one, they were pretty much special one-offs, and they were shiny, no coating, so they're a bit different than the rest of them. And as you could tell, like the rest of his knives, these aren't a good representation because they're all customized, but every one of these pretty much, were coated, and But as far as the Medford thing goes, just want to explain one thing, guys. He was correct in saying that basically he was making his whole point for making the video was great job with the pimp jobs, but these knives aren't made to be pimped. They're made to be used heavily, and there's a specific use for it. That being said, I totally understand, totally agree. When you take the coating off of one of these blades, which is an amazing coating, by the way, not S&D here, guys. I'm just telling you the truth. Because when it comes down to it, I am a knife collector over a knife pimper or maker. So these knives are incredible. There's nothing more I can say about that. Every knife that I pimp, well, for the most part, it's incredible. I love these knives. This one in particular is my favorite. They function perfectly. No blade play ever on any of these. They come sharp. They function perfect. And they're smooth too. I mean, there's no complaints there. So some people might have thought that by me saying that about the finishes, or I have a problem with the finishing. I don't. It's just simply goes back to what I've said a million times, and I've talked to a lot of people about, is basically you buy a knife, it's yours, you can do what you want with it. Now, a lot comes with that. Like, for one, I really enjoy customizing custom knives a lot, or high-end knives a lot, because they're just really well constructed. Most of the time they're easier to do actually than production model knives like a Tenacious, or they're usually easier because they're made by hand, and it's just more fun to see something that's never really been pimped before. Like, there's nobody else who's ever pimped a Medford before. I can say that and be proud of myself with that. But I just love customizing. But what comes with that is that you can directly be in contact with the maker, whereas Spyderco is just kind of, they know what I do. They don't say anything to me. Some of them don't like it, some of them like it there. I've talked to people there before, but I had to go out of my way to talk to them. And, I've talked to, but the thing is with the custom makers and the semi-custom, like, I've had run-ins with a few knife makers, and it's always this weird thing where they think that I am, like Kinder, for example. Everybody heard about that. I made a video just making sure, just to get the record straight, because people had heard that I got in an argument with him or something. That's not true. It was simply because he thought, I made this one for this guy here. This is a scale for this knife for a XM18 stonewash or acid stonewash. It's crazy to do to a Hinder, but this is what the guy wanted done. Now Rick, he thought, or Mr. Hinder, out of respect, he thought that I basically was producing like I have like 50 of these sitting here in stock. That is why he got upset, and he was basically explaining to me, well, he didn't get upset, he was basically explaining to me that I can't do that because it cuts into his business, which I totally respect. But once I explained to him that, no, I don't make these and sell them, like, you guys can't buy scales from me. You have to get them done. You basically have to send the knife. So you have to already own the knife. You know, you can't buy like 10 of these off me. But basically, he makes these and makes money off of this. And if I'm doing the same thing and say they're better than his, or, you know, the same thing or knockoff, you know, it's cutting directly into his sales. Whereas for me, what I see more often is that people will specifically buy a knife just to get pimped by me. I'm not tooting my own horn, it's just based on what I've heard. I know there's a lot of production knives that people do that with. You know, they're on the fence about, oh, I want this knife, but I don't like the scale on it, so... Oh, but there's Tough Thumbs. He can put the scale I want on there for not too much more money. So, that's what I do. And guys, everything you see, for the most part, is not my idea. Well, sometimes I do. People give me free reign, and you can tell when that is. But a lot of times I get knives I don't even show because, you know, just to hinder, say they want an orange scale with the pattern on it, where they can get an orange scale from Rick himself, but they want a pattern. He doesn't offer that. So I'll do it if they send me the knife. But, you know, I won't just make a bunch of orange hinder scales and then sell them, because that's just not what I'm doing. But at the same time, one thing I do understand as a new knife maker myself is if I was in the situation where I sold somebody one of my custom knives, say I made a custom frame lock like I did the other day, I sold it to the guy and I put work into it. It has a specific look and feel to it, and I work my ass off on that. And then this guy who had to have my knife sends it off to get completely changed. Like, these are completely different than what they used to be. I can see where that could really piss someone off, just on a personal level, because it's your heart and soul that you put into this. And I know Greg puts his heart and soul into these, and he does a lot of this stuff by hand, the grinds and everything, and these are all straight from his head, you know, into your hand, and it's incredible. But at the same time, he sees somebody doing something to his knife that he designed, and it's not supposed to look like that or do that. There's an area where you can just be like, fuck that guy, you know? Like, I can't believe he did that to my work. This is my work, not his, you know? And that is completely understandable, and that's an area that I feel bad sometimes, but at the same time, most of the time people understand why it's getting done. But, you know, that being said, I mean, I'm just doing this top of my head, guys, so, you know, I may be pausing here and there trying to think of what I'm saying next, but... You know, the run-ins I've had have been interesting. I mean, a lot of times, you know, I showed the Strider booth at the last Blade show. I showed them a Strider I customized, and they were like, you can't do that. It'll void the warranty. And that is something that comes with the territory. If you put a scale, say this was a stock hinder, you put the scale on it, just the scale only, none of this other work, you're not voiding anything. The second I sandblast, anodize, modify, do anything to the frame lock side, you're voiding that warranty, and you're no longer, you know, able to get it replaced or fixed. So that's something that comes with the territory. But at the same time, I do offer fixes for knives if I do customize them. Like, if there's something that happens and it's something that Rick could fix easily or I could fix easily, but he won't do it because, you know, it's just, you can't just, you know, if something goes wrong with the knife because of me, you can't hold Rick responsible, you know. But that being said, also, I want to make sure you guys know that after, you know, on my website, there is a, what do you call it? You basically guidelines that if something happens to the knife because of me, I'm not responsible for it. You understand that it is a knife, and, you know, my modifications, I can't be held responsible for this and that if you're an idiot. But, you know what I mean. But, so yeah, before everybody goes off on a rant about, like, you know, don't get stuff pimped, or, you know, like, shut the fuck up, I can't believe you would make a video, like, or anything like that, guys, I mean, just know that I did talk to Greg, and he wasn't pissed at all. He enjoys my work. We had a great conversation. We might even do something in the future. It's just an odd area of knife making. It's taking a knife that already exists and changing it. So, yeah, you'll never hear a peep out of cold steel. You know, these guys like it. I mean, a lot of guys have told me, these companies have told me that, yes, they've sold more knives, specifically because I pimped it a certain way, and they want that, and the only way to get that is to buy that knife and send it to me. So, and also another thing, he did bring up the fact that they were modified to, and they don't function the way, like specifically this one, it was made to be flats to have as a hammer. But guys, don't kid yourself. There's people out there that will use it like that, there's people out there in the military that will take this knife for what it is. I mean, I left the coating on there for the reason of, you know, it's a hard use knife and I didn't want to take it off because it's just awesome. There's no use of making this pretty. But that does change things a little bit, and I understand where he's coming from. But the owner of this knife would never be doing that. So it's just person by person. I mean, most of you guys won't be doing much with them. Most of you guys will never even use a knife when you buy it. I mean, some of you guys collect them, some of you use them. For me, I do both. I try to get the, you know, there's joy in using a knife, and then there's joy in just keeping one pristine. I prefer to kind of keep them both in the same area, you know what I mean? Like, I like to keep them pristine, but at the same time, I'm not gonna shy away from an $800 knife and cut some cardboard or not pry something, but scrape some shit off of a piece of G10. I had no problem with that. So, before that, you know, this gets out of hand, I agree with Greg on everything he said, and it's all just, you know, I pimp knives out of, I do it respectfully for everyone. Medford knives, I specifically, you know, try to make sure that, you know, you guys are more exposed to his knives. That was my favorite part about doing it. A lot of you guys didn't know what it is, and I was just hoping that, you know, more people would give him business because I like what he's doing. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for watching. Please discuss down below. Don't be dicks. I mean, just, you know, it's all good intentions, guys. I don't pimp something or change something out of spite, think it is better this way. It's all personal preference, guys. So I hope this video made sense, and I hope you got something from it. Pimpers aren't your enemy, even though a lot of people think they are, but I have nothing but respect for all knife makers. Have a good one. Peace.